My TNA No Surrender 2010 PPV Predictions. Pay-per-view is live tonight, exclusively on pay-per-view. And as far as the card for this pay-per-view, it actually doesn't look like it's a terrible card, but it's going to be one of those TNA pay-per-views that's going to be not a terrible pay-per-view, not a great pay-per-view. It's probably just going to be an average, possibly good pay-per-view. It might even turn out to be better than what I'm even expecting it to be. You got one match on this pay-per-view that should be an excellent match, and I think it's a match everyone's looking forward to, and that's Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy. That should be a good match. The other semifinals tournament match with the Pope D'Angelo Nero versus Mr. Anderson could possibly be good, and the tag match with Most Machine Guns could be good if it's booked in the right way, and everything else is depending on how it's booked. Now, the first match of this pay-per-view will most likely be, I would say, probably the X Division title match with Sabu versus Douglas Williams, and depending on what Sabu shows up, it could actually be a good match. If Sabu that performed at the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view last month, if that Sabu shows up, this could be a great match. But I'm not sure how their styles are going to clash. It could possibly be a way where it could be a complete clusterfuck, and their styles could clash in a way where it would just be a terrible match, but could possibly be decent. It's going to be depending on what Sabu shows up and how they kind of book it, because it's going to be interesting to see how their styles clash in this match. And I'm seeing, Douglas Williams, he will retain the X Division Championship, even though Sabu's very over with the Impact Zone crowd. I just do not see them giving the X Division Championship to Sabu, even though he's very over. I see Douglas Williams retaining that title. Then the next matchup will be the grudge match with Velvet Sky versus Madison Rayne. Velvet Sky will win this match. Not that it'll probably be a very poor women's match. Not looking forward to it at all. Velvet Sky will pick up the victory in that match. Then you got the Falls Count Anywhere match with Abyss versus Rhino. We've seen this match millions and millions of times. Falls Count Anywhere and a hardcore stipulation with these two, it could be a fun little match, but we've seen it so many times. It's like, do we really need to see it yet again? It's like, it's when they don't got anything for Abyss or Rhino, they just say, fuck it, let's just put these two together, put them in a hardcore match, and okay, that's what they're going to be doing on this pay-per-view. Abyss will, do a lot of crazy stuff in this match. You'll probably see some thumbtack stuff, maybe some glass. And Abyss, I'm saying, will probably win this match. Most of the hardcore Falls Count Anywhere matches, I would say he would lose, but I'm thinking he's going to win this match for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm thinking he will pick the victory up in this match. Then the next matchup would be the tag team match with Sting and Kevin Nash versus Samoa Joe and Jeff Jarrett, which I feel sad for Samoa Joe in this match, having to be in here with all these three old fucks in this match. It's pretty much what this match should be called. Three old fucks and Samoa Joe tag team match. That's what it is, and it's better than what the match probably was originally going to be. Originally, this was going to be a handicap match with Kevin Nash and Sting versus Jeff Jarrett, and that would have been completely atrocious. Now, with Samoa Joe in there, and Jeff Jarrett, I will admit, for his age, he actually can still go from time to time. So, it might not be completely terrible and atrocious as I expect, but it's a match I could do without on the pay-per-view. And come on, can't they do a whole lot better for Samoa Joe instead of having Samoa Joe in another tag match on the pay-per-view? Last month you had Hardcore Justice, so no TNA stars were in action. It was all, former ECW stars in action on that pay-per-view. But then the previous pay-per-view, when you had Samoa Joe in action, he was in a tag match yet again. So two pay-per-views from Samoa Joe in action where he's just in a tag team match. And I'll be surprised if this tag team match is as good as the last tag team match that Joe participated in at the Victory Road pay-per-view, where he teamed up with Brutus Magnus to take on AJ Styles and Kazarian. This match will probably just be maybe watchable at best. Samoa Joe will probably be the main reason why I think anyone would even care about seeing the match, and I don't think even in that case many people are caring about the match any bit at all. Now, the next matchup will be the I Quit match. This is AJ Styles versus Tommy Dreamer. Now, I'm not sure if this is for the TV title or not, because the way they've been advertising this match, it's just an I Quit match. And Tommy Dreamer and Raven last month at Hardcore Justice, I was one of those people that actually enjoyed that match. It was a pretty entertaining match, and Tommy Dreamer, I would say, for the most part, showed up for that match. Now, against AJ Styles, since we had the Tommy Dreamer and Raven feud and all the history and all this history behind that, you're probably not going to see this match be that good at all. Maybe AJ Styles could possibly pull something out of him. And Tommy Dreamer, obviously, since it's a I Quit match and pretty much anything goes in an I Quit match, could possibly, make him, it's going to help him out a whole lot with this match. But come on, AJ Styles and Tommy Dreamer, do we really need to see it? And AJ Styles needs to win this match. It's going to be a complete joke if Tommy Dreamer wins this. Even though in booking logic, I guess you would say Tommy Dreamer possibly should win it, because going into this pay-per-view, AJ Styles is having the advantage. He's already defeated Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer will look like a complete joke and a complete chump if he walks out of this pay-per-view and doesn't pick the victory up. But even with booking logic, does TNA really make that much sense with booking logic in the first place anyway? So AJ Styles needs to win this match. It's going to be a complete joke if Tommy Dreamer wins it. Like I said, maybe AJ Styles can pull something out of him. We'll just have to wait and see. The next matchup will be for the Tag Team Championships. This will be the Madison Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, versus Desmond Wolfe and Brutus Magnus. And this match could possibly be good, depending on how it's booked, because back at the Victory Road pay-per-view 2 months ago, you had a tag team match on that pay-per-view with Kaz and AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe and Brutus Magnus. And when I saw that, I was like, this match cannot be that good. Brutus Magnus is going to completely kill it, but they booked it in a smart way. They booked it in a way where, if they book it in the way where Desmond Wolfe's in there most of the time, Brutus Magnus, he comes in there just for a little bit, and he's in there, showing off his power moves and dominating the Madison Machine Guns, it could be booked very good. And Desmond Wolfe, against either Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, you're going to see some great stuff there. So it's going to be depending on how this match is booked. If it's booked in the same fashion you saw the tag team match at the Victory Road pay-per-view 2 months ago, it could be a very good match. It could possibly be a great match if it's booked in a very good way, because I actually enjoyed that match a lot at the Victory Road pay-per-view. Then you got the two semifinals matches. Now, I don't know if they're going to put them back-to-back on this pay-per-view. They might do it in a way where they put the Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy match, have that be the main event, and then you'll see the other semifinal match maybe in the middle of the card. But I'm just doing it the way this is kind of on TNA's website of the way they got it listed. Obviously, the first semifinals match you're going to see is obviously going to be the Mr. Anderson versus Pope match, which is going to obviously be the weaker of the two semifinals matches, and the winner of these semifinals matches advanced to a one-on-one match at the TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view on October 10th for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And this is one of those things I think TNA possibly could have done this tournament in a different way, where you would have saw possibly you wouldn't have had your great match with Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy on this match, but I think you possibly could have done it in a way where you would have had say Jeff Hardy versus the Pope and Anderson versus Kurt Angle, and then Jeff Hardy and Angle, that would be your big match you would have at Bound for Glory, because the way this goes, obviously it looks like Angle's going to be winning against Jeff Hardy, and then the other side, are you really going to think, a match with Anderson and Kurt Angle at Bound for Glory, does that really say it's showcase that that's, one of your big matches of the year? Or Kurt Angle versus the Pope, is anyone going to care about that? Or say if Jeff Hardy wins, Jeff Hardy and the Pope doesn't sound that attractive, or him and Mr. Anderson doesn't sound that great either. So I think they should have saved the Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy match for the finals and had that match be at Bound for Glory, unless they got some other type of plan where they try to throw RVD back in action before Bound for Glory, and it turns into the finals match takes place on Impact, and they take and whoever wins that will take on RVD at Bound for Glory. That possibly be the only thing I would say that you could have that a great match at Bound for Glory. So first be the semifinals match with Mr. Anderson versus the Pope. The Pope's, they're booking the Pope pretty strong right now, and I'm thinking he's going to win this match. He'll advance to Bound for Glory. Mr. Anderson could advance as well, because I'm almost thinking that they might want to have Anderson advance just because they kind of already tried the thing with the Pope, and they did it at a Lockdown. That would have been the perfect time for him to become TNA World Heavyweight Champion, because he was very over. He was booked very strong going into that pay-per-view, and I don't know, no one's going to take him serious. Everyone's going to know he's not going to win the championship at Bound for Glory. I don't think anyone would expect that. Then the other match is going to be Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy. This will be the match I think everyone's looking forward to. Should be an excellent match. I'm hoping it gives, at least 20, 25 minutes. Should be a great match. Really looking forward to this. Could be a match of the year candidate. It's going to be one of those matches on this pay-per-view that's definitely, I'm sure it's going to be the match of the night on this pay-per-view. I don't think there's any match on here that possibly is going to steal it. I would be shocked if any match actually is better than Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's obviously going to win this match. There's no doubt Kurt Angle's going to win this. I don't see them having Jeff Hardy main event Bound for Glory, since they were already building up, Kurt Angle going through the top 10 ranks, and then after they did the thing where they did the storyline, writing RVD off TV and having to do this tournament, that kind of ruined that whole thing where they could have kept on going through the all the rankings in TNA. And since they kind of been doing that with him, I'm saying that at Bound for Glory, Kurt Angle, you're probably going to see Kurt Angle versus either the Pope or Anderson. I'm not sure which one. I said the Pope will probably win. I'm just kind of thinking, would they want to put Angle versus the Pope at Bound for Glory? They could possibly do Anderson versus Angle, since they've had a feud this year in TNA, and that will kind of have some back history, and they could have actually, kind of play off with it with that, since they've had a feud this year. And obviously we saw that great match at Lockdown they had with each other, and they kind of play off that feud they've had with each other this year. So pretty sure Kurt Angle's going to win this match. The other semifinals match could go either way. I'm not really sure which way they would go, so I'm saying they'll probably have the Pope versus Angle, I guess, at Mount Glory. I just don't think that would be a match you would want to say, hey, this is our biggest pay-per-view of the year, and we got Kurt Angle versus the Pope D'Angelo De Niro. Not saying it won't be a great match. It could be an excellent match. But is it going to be a match that's going to have people want to purchase the pay-per-view? I don't necessarily think so. So that's it for my TNA No Surrender 2010 pay-per-view predictions. Peace.